we go. I'm very new to this, I'm sorry. Restart. Alright, so. Marble Skies. Some of you may be wondering what the heck is this and why am I making a video of it? And who I am. Some of you may wonder. But yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of a game called Marble Blast Ultra, but it was a game that had a free demo available on the Xbox 360, and I never got the full game, but I played the demo a lot, and I actually really liked the game. So now we are here playing Marble Skies because I saw it on Steam. It was on sale. I was like, oh dude, this reminds me of that game that I really liked, and I have money now. Because when I played it, I was like, somewhere between 12 and 18. I know, so actually, it's been a few years since I've played it, so I was probably, at earliest, I was probably about 16 years old when I played it. At latest, sorry, not earliest. So, yeah. And I loved the game a lot, but I had no money, so I couldn't get it. But now I found this game and I'm like, ooh, hey, it's like that, but not. So we're on level 3, we're just cruising forward here. Whoop. Oh man. I really like marble games a lot because they seem pretty serene to me. Because there's no like enemies, it's just a simple course, there's nothing super duper complex about it, it's just, you know, get to the finish. Oh shoot, this is like Marble Blast Ultra, I think, if that grid was the way I think it is. So if I hit this power up, it should make my ball get, oh, nope, I have to press, yeah, there we go. I loved the sound effect in Marble Blast Ultra a lot more. It was like, it was really epic, and I thought it was great. But yeah, so this is Marble Skies. You can get it on Steam now. It's pretty cheap. It's like $5, I think. I don't remember. I bought it like less than 2 minutes ago, and I already don't remember. That is just the first signs of someone who's gonna go broke buying video games. Oh no. So yeah, just rolling around. I currently can't see like the stream chat or anything like that, because for those of you who will eventually see this on YouTube, I'm actually streaming at the same time. I probably have no one watching, but but I decided, hey, I've never streamed before, and I have this Twitch account that I've never used, so you know, let's do a thing. So now here we are doing a thing. Those look like bumpers, like in a pinball machine. Yeah, watch out for the bumpers. That's not gonna be good. Alright, up. Hello. Shoop. The art style is not very different from Marble Blast Ultra either. It's it reminds me a lot of it. Here we go. I did that in 20 seconds. My. The world record is left with 5-6 seconds. Just over 5 seconds. I did not get any of the badges or anything. I probably won't be aiming for them much because I'm not a completionist. Nor am I the completionist. I'm just a dude who likes playing video games. So we're here now. I'm pretty sure it just stated a goal to me, but I did not read it and therefore don't know if it's just get to the exit, find the gems, things like that. Is this a grab? Oh no, it's a jump boost. That's pretty epic. Hold up. In Marble Blast Ultra, one of my favorite things that you could do was run into these little spots that had power-ups that would change the gravity. That I butchered that so hard, and now okay. Alright, here we go. Alright, there we go. Got to the end. Plus 21 gems. So yeah, I'll probably just play this for a bit up until about 1 o'clock EST, and then we'll be done. The rocket! No, you're giving me way too much power. Alright. Alright, sweet. Oh, frick, I missed the next rocket. Right. Da 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 da. Yeah. No rocket here, so I'll just keep going. I'm currently playing with a controller that I have plugged in, but I'm also kind of rubbish with controllers because I usually play mouse and keyboard. But I wanted that nostalgia from playing this game so long ago. So yeah. Here's the end. Level complete. Let me just double check on everything on the Twitch side of things. Yeah. No bothers with the chat or anything. The only viewer is myself. Oh well. Next level. I don't know, I enjoy these kind of games a lot. I think they're pretty cool. Being able to just roll around in this peaceful little... Oh my gosh, no, I failed. Yikes. Alright, let's try this again. I got an achievement for dying. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic right there. Come on. There we are. I just brute forced that. Not really sure if I was supposed to, but what can you do, you know? I'm enjoying this. This is neat. This is a nice little game. This and Hollow Knight were two games I bought here a few minutes ago. I've played the first, I want to say, 20 minutes of Hollow Knight, but I haven't gotten very far in it because one of my friends picked it up for me and just absolutely floored it. Just went through like the entire game in the matter of like 3 or 4 days. It was incredible, but it was also like, man, I wanted to play it. But yeah, so instead I've got it on the computer here so that I'll be able to give it a shot at some point. Oh, the hazard platforms will move as soon as you touch them. I didn't even realize. I didn't even know what was going on, and then it did, and then I was like, oh. Also, apparently, like, if I click, well, I can't click right now because, oh, I see what's going on here. I want to check the viewer count, but it seems like it went up a couple bits, in which case, Twitch is a lot more forgiving about suggesting people to others than YouTube is, because, man, I've gone a long time on YouTube without a lot of response or anything like that. So let's check this out real quick. Yeah, we've got like 13. When I started, we had 8, so 5 people have clicked on this video and then clicked out because we only have 1 viewer. But, you know, good stuff, good stuff. This is it. This is the anti-gravity power. Here we go. Yup. Oh my gosh, that was actually really disorienting. Oh my gosh. Alright, right. Oh, I see how it is. It's really, like, seriously, it feels like, oh my gosh. Feels like this is just like a remake of Marble Blast Ultra. Which is another part of the reason why I bought it, because I'm like, dude, I love that game. I'd love to see it again. Again, missed some of the old sound effects, but I do like that the rolling is a pretty consistent sound. That's pretty nice. It's still under development, apparently. I was not aware of this. Well, support for this game then. Because I'm liking it. It's very fun. It's very enjoyable. I have no idea if it has any affiliation with Marble Blast Ultra whatsoever. And I keep name dropping that game even though I never bought it. I just played the Blade demo over and over. It was a good demo though. Alright, let's see. The mechanics in this seem pretty controllable and pretty straightforward. So I'm just kind of enjoying the scenery. That's the thing, I really like this. I don't want to call it abstract. I'm not sure that's the right term for it. But it is like it's got these nice arches, these beautiful glass windows, and the infinite sky below us. We're just in the middle of nowhere. Though, when I look down at that, my brain's like, yeah, Earth is down there. Somewhere. Probably. Don't worry about it too much. I am so lucky I smacked into that. Oh my goodness, I almost went careening off the edge. That would have been really bad. Oh, I've collected all the gems, alright. Nailed it. Oh my goodness, what is this? Is this a funnel? Am I rolling down? Oh goodness. Whoop. Oh my gosh! No! You can't be serious. So, do I want to hit these guys? Uh-oh. Oh, I missed. Oh, I missed completely. Ah, blast. Alright, let's go. Come on. Yup. Oh, nice. There we go. This reminds me a lot of Monkey Ball, which... Let me just start naming off all the games I've never played fully and only played demos of. There was a McDonald's that used to be here that we would visit when we were kids, and it actually had a GameCube console station in the McDonald's, and it was one of the coolest things ever. But the game they had in it at the time that I remember visiting it was Monkey Ball, which was actually a really fun game to play. I've never played the full thing. I heard that it's a big like speedrun game because it's near impossible to cheat. And that's just it was a neat little marble game that me and my sister would play around at times. It was really awesome. And I think that's part of where my love for these kind of games came from. I don't play a lot of them because I usually don't find a lot of them. But I did play Marble Blast Ultra a lot, or the demo at least. And this game, you know, it's just, I'm enjoying it. It's really peaceful. So let's just roll up here. Up, 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 up. Okay, alright, I see how it is. I see how it is. We'll do it right. We'll do it your way, game. Will this work out for me? Oh, it will not. Gosh, darn it. Okay. I feel like a marble master, but there are probably some of you out there who are just looking at this and being like, oh, why, how dare you be like so much less skillful than I, the king of marbles. I need to go about this differently. There we are. I need to jump. That's what I needed. Here we go. Take a look at things. Next level. Alright. Use the alien power up to get to far away platforms. Alien power up. Oh my goodness, what? Well, that was not even remotely helpful. Remember to aim where you want to move. Oh. That's probably why. Should have read the full tooltip. Well. What is this? Oh, it's a checkpoint. There's a such thing as a checkpoint in this game? Uh-oh. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. That's not good. What? How do I aim where I want to move then? Or is it that I can only input that once? Oh, that's not working. That is bugger. How do I use this then? I'm clearly not using it right. Oh, is it carrying me in a straight line? That would actually make a lot of sense, in which case I should avoid jumping at like all costs. Ish. Nope. No. That didn't work either. I should probably use it when on the upwards trajectory then. Like this. There we go. That doesn't seem terribly helpful, but it also is better than nothing, I suppose. Oh, that's not gonna work. Yep, nope. Bye-bye. I also remember in Marble Blast Ultra, whenever you died, it was like a clock of sorts. Like clockwork mechanisms. Ghostly clockwork mechanisms near the bottom of the stage. That was always really peculiar to me. But yeah. Next level. Marble Skies is still under development. Up and up! Alright, let's see. Going this way. Hey! Oh no. Alright then. Oh, frick, bumpers and a checkpoint between bumpers. There we go. There's some people who are probably like supreme masters of this game and able to just like leap with absolutely professional skill from one point to another. Because look at this, I did that in like 45 seconds, going about the like plebeian route, one may say, and look at this, Speth, the world record, has done it in 10 seconds. And friggin' even gold is like 22 seconds, which is about half the time it took me. So there's that. It's something, alright. Not sure I can really like sing full songs, even though I do enjoy doing that because it's like copyright, especially in Nintendo. I mean, it's also kind of fair in a way, Nintendo being such sticklers about what you can and cannot upload that belongs to them, because there's also kind of this element of, if I were a game developer, I would really prefer it if like people could only see like the first hour or so of whatever I make, because I want them to experience it for themselves. There's kind of a point behind that, you know? Ugh. I might like make a game at some point, because I do know software and I've been messing around in Unity a lot, but it's also a lot of case of like, what kind of game would I make? What would I really want to do? What would the story be? What would it be about? What kind of mechanics would there be? It's a lot of tossing and turning and throwing ideas around. Sometimes I'd even browse like Turbo Squid for a bunch of 3D models and jazz just to look for something interesting. Some neat idea. Some of the greatest stuff, in my opinion, that I've seen on there is like the science fiction laboratories that they have. I love those to pieces. They're amazing. They're some of the coolest things ever, and I'd love to make a game around them. It's just not something I'm quite capable of yet, nor can afford, because those models can be anywhere from like $5 to $2,000. Someone sells like a whole sci-fi futuristic city for about $2,000. And I think that's probably a fair price given how hard it was to develop. But it is like, man, you don't even have to like do any of the planning or anything. You just buy a city and then you make a game from it. And that'd just be amazing. Come on, there we go. Do I have enough? I do not. There's the next one. Alright, there we are. This one up there. But yeah, I think I might do streaming a bit more, because regardless of what am I missing? Regardless of who watches it, it's very easy to just start up and just play a game for a while, or maybe draw a picture, since I do like doing that too, including digitally. Just do something that the people who want to see it will stick around and watch. Oh no, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, it saved it. Oh, there's more gems over there as well. But it saved my progress. So I guess if you're going for a record, a death is a severe setback. But if you're just trying to finish the level, it's pretty forgiving. I appreciate that. Alright, and up. There we go. Now I have all the gems. There we are. So this is like the first time I've ever streamed anything ever. And there's probably a lot of problems with it, like volume and content. and advertisement and things like that. Not a lot of people are going to see this stream, and that's fine. I don't care. I'm just trying to have fun, and I want other people who would probably enjoy this game or enjoy watching something similar to have fun too and be able to watch this kind of thing. So that's on the table. That's an option that belongs to people. Okay, that's not going to work. But yeah, it's not much to do with how well it works, because I mean, every time I've checked the numbers, it's like I don't have any other viewers, there's no one else watching, I'm just doing my own thing, and that's fine by me. I mean, I would like it if other people could share this experience with me, but I'm having this experience by myself at minimum, and I'm okay with that. So, because it is a nice game. It's a very lovely experience to just be able to sit down, play a video game, and not worry too much about who's going to see it and what's going to happen, which is something I worry about constantly. I'm not a big YouTuber at all. There is no way you could define me as one. I have just over 300 subscribers. That's not it's a lot of people. Like 300, that's a ton of people. But it's not nearly as much to say that I really consider myself at all of importance to the platform. And it's also, considering my average viewer count is like 4 at best. That's like on a good day. I'll just go up the rail for crying out loud. Because of that, it's like, it's not terribly important, but it's nice that, because I run into the issue sometimes that I'll be playing a game and I'm like, well, I could be recording this, I could be making a video out of it. I have somewhere around like 80 gigabytes of footage on my computer that I've just never used because I have to edit it, and I'm like, what would be good? What would people actually want to hear? Do I really want to sit through it and figure out what works and what doesn't? That kind of thing. But it's nice with things like Twitch, like this, where I know that if someone wants to see it, they'll be here. They'll be able to see it. They'll be able to watch what I'm doing and enjoy it. But I don't have to worry too much about the editing and things like that. I can just relax and play around and roll like a marble through this large and interesting world. Let me, 1 second. Let me just put that off to the side there so I can move the microphone a bit closer, because I know that I have the microphone's volume is not perfect. I'm very aware of this. So it's good to be able to like change that around a bit. Yeah, so no one's currently watching, so I can just say whatever, and I can fix this so that it's in a proper position. There we go. So yeah, it's nice to think like that I am talking to some people, even if there's no one watching. Because it's kind of therapeutic to just voice your own opinions to yourself. This is something that's interesting, is even if you're not talking to anyone, right? Just speaking, just putting ideas into words can teach you so much about what you believe about those ideas. So you can learn so much about your world and the things that surround you. And that is not working, so I gotta go a different way. Oh, hello. This is kind of the thing, is there was a quote that I read recently that said, there's some sort of philosopher who said, how do I know what I think until I've heard what I'm going to say? Oh gosh darn it. How do I know what I think until I've heard what I'm going to say? And that sounds counterintuitive, because it's like, what do you mean? You should know what you're going to say before you say it. Ish. That's not necessarily true. This is kind of the thing, is it's not really something you think about, but I mean, you have more information about yourself than anyone else. That is a given. But you don't generally know everything. And this is something I kind of enjoy, is being a mystery to myself. Just as others are mysteries to themselves as well. You can believe that you are great, you can believe that you are terrible, you can believe that you can do great things, you can believe that you'll accomplish nothing at all. But if you just take a little time, regardless of what side of your own world you stand on, you can learn a lot more about who you are as a person just by thinking about it or talking about it. Talking to yourself. People always say that talking to yourself is like not a healthy habit. That's false. Talking to yourself instead of to people is not going to give you that sociality, and a lack of sociality is unhealthy. But talking to yourself is not bad, and in fact it can be really helpful. It can teach you a lot about your own opinions, about the way you want to say things like that. If you guys have seen the movie Taxi Driver, right, where he's just acting out that kind of scene, I have not seen the full movie. This is blasphemy, honestly. But I have seen that one scene, and it's kind of like, if he were to get into that situation, he has a better grasp of what he would say, because if he was going to stumble, if he was going to mess up a word or confuse the point he was trying to make, then it becomes a lot clearer to him that that is something to worry about, and he's able to focus on it and fix it and amend it because he's thought about it. Because talking about something requires that you think about it, whereas actually thinking about something, the act of thinking about something, doesn't actually mean that you clear out the thought. It just kind of means you toss around a subject in your head for a while. Sometimes that's enough, sometimes it's not. And I've just missed so terribly. Holy cow. Alright. Okay, I almost did it again. Anyone watching this has probably figured out this is not like a very intense or competitive Let's Play or anything like that. I'm just playing around in a video game that seems pretty cool. I butchered that jump so hard. I wonder if I just sit under this and then fire the upgrade, will I get the second one? I will not. Okay. 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 Alright then. I see how it is. Ah, frick. This is gonna... I've been on this level more than the other ones. It's been almost 4 minutes, which is... All the other ones have been like a minute, maybe 2. Why? Okay, you know what? I'm just going this way. Alright, let's see. So that gem, there's a couple gems. There's that one up there, and there's this guy up here. Hey, I did it! That was actually, that looked pretty awesome. Okay, I see what you were doing here. I don't appreciate it. It's pretty mean, gonna be honest. Alright, let's go this way. But yeah, so in terms of like just general things, like why am I doing this? Who the heck am I? So I'm called WillyNilly on YouTube, a time traveler on Twitch. I'm just a randomer, as you would, as you? I don't think anyone would really phrase it like that except me. So as I would call it, I'm a randomer. I'm not something that a lot of people really know. I'm just kind of a ghost in the machine. I just, you know, I enjoy doing a number of different things. I have a wide array of hobbies, but that also means I'm not really good at any of them. I'm pretty average at all of them. Except 2. Yeah, one of them I actually know I'm kind of good at, and that's software. I can program. And that sounds like super impressive, but honestly, it's just a case of once you know the basic rules, the rest of it's really easy. It's just problem solving, and every human is capable of problem solving. So then, if you want to be a programmer, it's honestly just about liking the small victories that you get from that. It's not about being brilliant. It's not about being absolutely insane. If you are brilliant, then programming can be like absolutely amazing for you. But if you're not, all you have to do is just have a basic understanding of mathematics and an idea you want to complete. You have those two things and it can be fun for you. I don't program professionally. I'm working on a degree so that I may be able to. But it's just a little idea for me. I have to focus on getting this jump right. There we go. Alright, finally. But yeah, it's just anyone can do it. The people who will do it are the people who want to do it. That's a very big thing. If you don't want to deal with maths, if you don't want to program, you won't program. It's really that simple. It's kind of like I don't know if you've heard the theory. I read this out of Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. But the idea is to master something, you must put 10,000 hours into it. I think that was the number. 10,000 hours to master something. And this falls in line with this idea, Confucius's idea, I think it was, that if you love your job, you will never work a day in your life. Now, that's not entirely true. If you love your job, you will work a day in your life. You will do work. You will put effort into something. But the effort will not be for mastering it. It won't be for getting better at it. It won't be for completing it. It will be for you to do that thing that you enjoy, which is so much easier than doing it so that you get better at it. And I personally, in my own anecdotes, I have two really great examples of this. Those being software and drawing. Now, I really enjoy both hobbies. They're both really things I want to enjoy. Trying to make either one of them into a career, and I'd be happy with it. Software, when I got into it, I just automatically fell in love with being able to make little machines that do whatever you want. When I got into it, I'd recently seen The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch about the father of computer science, Alan Turing, which fascinated me greatly. I love cryptography. I love that kind of thing. So I put some time down and I made a software version of the Enigma machine. And it was something I really enjoyed and something that I was really happy with the result. I'm missing a gem, gosh darn it. But it was something that I was very proud of and I had a lot of fun doing. And I put in numerous hours into that project without even thinking about it, just because I wanted to get it done, because I wanted to complete it, because I wanted to see it work, because I wanted it to be awesome. Drawing is on the other end of the spectrum. What I initially built my skill up doing is just doodling in class, because that was just what I wanted to do at the time, and it resulted in me putting some hours into it just by accident, because I wanted to make pictures that looked of cool things. But lately, when I've tried to accomplish very specific pictures, I haven't found nearly as much enthusiasm, which has resulted in me having to push a little harder than normal. I still enjoy it, it's still fun, but it requires more effort than it would for me to practice software or to play a video game, to master it and to be good at it to a level that I could do some of the things I want, like animate videos and things like that. But it is something that I'd be fully happy with doing. So it's a lot a case of just what you practice doing is what you practice understanding. Language is an excellent example of this for everyone, that everyone can relate to. If you read and write a lot, whether it be for classes or things like that, and I did a lot of essays in school because I always had an English paper coming up or some kind of writing assignment, or maybe I just wanted to write a short story, which I've done a couple times. And I might share those with people at some point, I don't know. But it was something that I put time into, and as a result, I learned more. People who read books a lot learn a lot about language and get a very strong grasp of how to speak and how to share ideas with people. You get very good at language by speaking as well, because you practice your vocabulary. You practice learning how to say things, what saying different things means, how people interpret it, how to be clear, how to be not. Vague, I suppose, is the not there, as opposed to just saying not, which is rather completely against the whole point, but who cares? Oh goodness, what am I even talking about? But yeah, so if you want to get really good at writing and whatnot, reading is a good way of doing that, because your brain will inevitably put a lot of hours into understanding how words are put together. It won't make you a fantastic writer all the way around. It won't teach you everything, but you can teach yourself everything if you put time into it, if you practice it. Because if you look at it, and especially if you get criticism, you need to be open to criticism no matter what you do, because sometimes someone's going to point out something that you just didn't realize you did or didn't do that was so important. I don't even know if I need to go down there, and I don't know why I keep attempting for it. But a critic can mention something that's so important that can help you learn more about what you don't know. Critics can also, however, be terrible, so you need to know what is good advice, what is helpful advice. I'm missing one gem, right? And I think it's down on that lower level, but I could also be wrong. But if I am wrong, which is entirely possible, I don't know where I am supposed to be. Oh. Alright, I see how it is. Thank you very much, nerd. But yeah. So yeah. I'm trying to think of like other things to talk about, but it's because I just keep looping around on the same topic. I could talk about books, because I don't do a lot of reading lately. Like pretty much every adult that I've ever met ever. Once you reach adulthood, you seem to run a lot less time to be able to read and to be able to do things like that. But when I was younger, and sometimes nowadays when we go on vacation or when I have some time off or things like that, I do find myself very capable of reading a story or something. Especially short stories on the internet are something that I do get invested in. Sometimes I'll go on like Reddit and things like that and just browse stories of people's experiences or things that they've written, things like that, because they'll just be really short, interpretable stories that don't take very long to read, and I consider myself a very fast reader. They don't take very long to read, they say what they want to say, they get out, things like that. But books are a big thing that I really loved growing up, and I have a few favorites, and I have a couple that I hate. One of my favorite series of all time, well, I say series, one of my favorite set of books of all time is the Sherlock Holmes series. I'm that kind of guy. I loved the Sherlock Holmes books. I read so many of the stories. I have the first, I don't know if it's the first two or the only two, but a complete assembled collection, which is on a shelf behind me, which is why my voice keeps fading away to try and read the titles. But my favorite one, actually, because I like cryptography, was actually a story known as The Adventure of the Dancing Men, in which a chap had a code message sent to him that his wife understood, but he did not. So he went to Sherlock and he said, could you interpret this? Could you tell me what it means? Because I don't understand it. He's like, very well, I'll take your case. Holmes. That's a rant in itself, which I think I'll go into because I have the time and why not? Oh, it's past 1 and I'm still playing this game. I guess we'll probably go until 1:30. But Sherlock Holmes is a character of infamy and legend and so many other things that was written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in the late 19th century, early 20th century. He's been interpreted in a number of movies and shows, most recently in the BBC television show starring Benedict Cumberbatch, who has cropped up again in this stream somehow. But I didn't like that interpretation so much. That's not true. I loved that interpretation, but I didn't feel that interpretation was very faithful to the books. For one reason only, and that is that Sherlock Holmes has a lot more of a heart than the show gave him credit for. I don't mean like that he's this warm and loving person, but for one thing, justice does not rule out overall in his world. He does have a certain opinion about what is right and what is wrong. He is a very logical person, and they captured that beautifully, because he does not show emotion very much. But in the show, he acts more on logic than he does emotion in a lot of situations I really don't agree with. A good example of this is a story by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle known as The Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle. I think that's how you pronounce it. Now, I'm just going to go with that pronunciation since I don't know it better. The Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle, the story was that some chap had stolen this blue, beautiful gem, a carbuncle, essentially, which is like a diamond of sorts. And he had hidden it in a chicken, and they could not find where it had gone. They did not know what happened to it. Their only lead was a hat, which belonged to a individual who Holmes met, and when he spoke to him, he offered him he performed a very clever test, right? He said to the man, he said, we discovered your turkey from the police, but I'm afraid we've eaten it. However, we'd like to offer you this spare one instead. Now, the dude happily accepted the chicken, which Holmes realized meant that he was innocent, because The man had not looked for a diamond, he had looked for a chicken. He had wound up, if he was involved in the crime at all, it was out of pure accident. He himself had no knowledge of the diamond, he was just looking for a chicken for dinner. So when he heard that the original one was eaten, he had no problem with it as long as he could get one to take home. Now there was a separate individual that he tracked down, and I believe he performed the same test and he failed because he went paranoid over the fact that they had eaten the original chicken. But this was where Holmes had started to have a bit of a heart. And that was that it was Christmas Eve, I think. It was either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or somewhere near that. And the man was when Holmes asked him why he did it, he said that he was broke and that he was trying to get money for their Christmas because the wife, I don't know, spends a lot or just they didn't have any money and he wanted to make her happy or something like that. It was some fairly earnest reasoning, so Holmes offered him a proposal. His proposal was quite simply, never do it again, and the police will never hear it was your fault. And Sherlock just went on saying that they recovered the diamond. The man agreed to the terms and he left, and as far as I understand, he never performed a crime again. And Holmes never told the police of his involvement, he just recovered the diamond, and that was the end of the story. And that I just thought was so important to the character of Holmes because he wasn't cold, he wasn't logical in that moment, because he could have easily done so much better by giving the police the truth and the situation of the story, but he didn't. He just gave them what was missing, and he kept the secret of where it went to himself, as did Watson. They spared the man any problem whatsoever. In a sense, they saved his life. And that, I kind of think, is probably one of the most important things about Holmes, is he is a logical person, and he does work practically entirely off logic, but he's not heartless. And he's not without his set of emotion, but it's not as obscure as it is made to be seen. He is fairly human, you know? I'm kind of just talking out of nothing, and there are probably some proper aficionados who study this stuff like religiously and just know it like the back of their hand, who are probably like, oh, you've gotten this wrong and whatnot. But I'm just, as a dude who really loves Sherlock Holmes, who really enjoys the stories, who interpreted them in his own way, I think Sherlock is a lot more human than a lot of modern interpretation makes him out to be. And I certainly don't think he tries to hide how human he is to his friends and to the people that he cares about. I think he's a lot more straightforward about that, especially with Watson, of all people. Like, a lot of people suggest that there's like a ship or something between them, and I don't agree with that in the slightest, but they do care about each other. They are the best of friends. They work together on everything, and any amount of fighting or distrust or whatever happens between them is because of the fact that they're not the same person. The doctor and the detective, they come at odds because they don't really follow each other's views of the world, but they're also understanding of the fact that they're both human and they have their own perspectives on how everything works in the world. Honestly, it's one of the most fascinating things about them, and I appreciate their stories immensely. I also appreciate the fact that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle continued writing the stories after he had effectively killed off Holmes. He returned to it because of how important the character was to people and to himself. But he didn't want to initially, which I think was interesting. He wanted Sherlock to stay dead. That the fall of Reichenbach, or however it's pronounced, was meant to be the end. It was meant to be over after that. His revival was, one could say, peer pressure, but there's also a number of other things that he eventually wrote down that affected him greatly. So yeah, that's my rant on Sherlock Holmes, which I've gone on for about like the last 15 minutes or so. There we go. So yeah, Oh, frick. Oh, goodness. I hope anyone who has seen any of this game has enjoyed it and has found it fascinating. I've certainly been enjoying playing it. And here after this level, maybe the next, if I can finish this in time, I'll go ahead and close out the stream and video and see you all after that. But in the meantime, I'll frickin' solve this problem with the bridge that I keep messing up drastically. I just need to take it slow, that's the whole thing. Okay, okay, alright. Nice. I also like, I'd like people's opinions on what kind of content and whatnot I should do, but getting that kind of thing is pretty rare when you don't have a lot of people who watch your stuff. But it's also a case of, like, what do you say, you know? It's like, if you don't have any opinion on the content, then it's kind of like you just leave yourself out of it. I rarely, if ever, comment on videos because I just don't have a lot to say. I try to respond to all the comments that I get on my videos because I like to show that I'm listening and I like to know what people think. Recently I got a comment from someone named Adriana, I believe it was. That was their username. Adriana, and then a last name with an A, which I don't remember, who suggested I do another one of those Phoenix Wright Hamilton edits, but of Helpless. So I've started trying putting one together so that I can try to accomplish that. I have a few ideas down. I really suck at this level. I have a few ideas down that I'm working on. I did a couple of the verses into the animation of what I want, but it's also a case of, like, since I am trying to do it with like Phoenix Wright sprites and things like that, the Aaron Burr Sir was really straightforward because they were in like a bar, they were lawyers. I knew who I wanted it to be about from the get-go because I knew whose emotes would express it perfectly. But then when doing Helpless, it's like I want this connection between the characters in a way, like the current characters I had set up were Mia and Armando, and I've thought about piecing that together and things like that, and I keep missing that bridge. I need to slow the frick down. But it was Mia and Diego, and I say was, it is currently while in production, and I'm not sure whether or not I want to swap Diego out for Apollo, and I've used young Mia because number one, she and Diego were the ones paired together because the older Mia didn't get to see him, and this is kind of spoilery territory, I should be careful what I'm saying here, and the alternative I was thinking was like, I like young Mia's sprites more, and I like, my train of thought is just like, you know what, let's think about something else. But I like Mia's sprites more, and I like the idea of using Diego, but Diego's sprites are pretty limited. There are some custom edits, but they kind of look weird, and I'm a little uncertain about whether or not I want to use them. And then there's like the idea that I could use Apollo, who I used in my last video, to represent Alexander, but I really don't know if I want to, and I don't know how well that would go. Honestly, the idea of Godot being Alexander is kind of humorous in its own right. Godot would make a great Burr, actually, which maybe I should look into, but I already did use like Edgeworth for that. But yeah, so it's interesting. It's an interesting concept, and piecing it together has been fun and interesting, and quite the puzzle to solve, which I've appreciated a lot. But it's also been difficult because I don't really know where to set it, how to set it. Should I give Mia a table when she's not in a courtroom? Should I put Mia in a courtroom? Things like that. It's a lot to kind of think about and juggle and try to interpret and answer for. But, you know, might go. But it's like, it could be great if I do it right, and it will be answering someone's request, which is something I haven't been able to do much of because I haven't really figured out how, because I'm bad at that sort of thing. So, yeah. Am I supposed to just hop in this little rainbow room here? Yo. What the heck? I guess this is an Easter egg? How do I get out of here? I guess I'll just keep rolling in the general direction of the hole and hope I fly through it at some point. I just hope the music doesn't restart again. I've jinxed myself, haven't I? Uh-oh. Am I even gonna be able to get out of here, or do I just have to restart it? I'm just gonna have to restart. There's no way around it. Alright. That's a neat Easter egg, though. Yeah. Alright, so I'll go this way and up, just as before. But I think I could go left here, and I think I'll do that instead. Oh. Nope, I can't go left. At least I know where not to go this time. Oh, do I use the ramp to hop up there? That might be it. Oh, no, hold up. Hold up. Oh, I think I get it. I think I get it. I think I finally figured out a way to get us back home. Yep, there it is. Oh, and I missed it. Gosh, darn it. Alright, so... yeah. It's 1:30, so this will probably be the last level. So I'll finish this off by talking about my favorite musical, because I was a theater kid in school. I got involved in like 3 different plays. I enjoyed it a lot, but we went to see a musical once as part of like a theater trip, and it was frick, I missed completely. The musical was Don Quixote, no, it was The Man of La Mancha, which is about Don Quixote de la Mancha. Now, I do not speak any Spanish, and I'm not Spanish in any heritage way, shape, or form, but I did understand the story a bit as it was, and holy cow, that was one of the most beautiful things I had ever seen. That story, learning it in the musical and learning the way things played out and everything. It fascinated me to no end. Oh, thank goodness I'm on it this time. There we go. Okay. I really enjoyed the story a lot. I was crying by the end of it. It was fantastic. It was just so beautifully executed. I got to watch it at a local community theater nearby. And it was amazing to see. And I've got like the whole first song memorized completely, even including the lines, because I just loved it to pieces. Which I'm not referring to like the opening instrumental. I'm talking about I Am I, Don Quixote, which is a great song, and just it was such a thrilling piece. One of the most interesting lines in it was, I shall impersonate a man, Alonso Quijana, a country squire, no longer young, bony, hollow-faced, eyes that burn with the fire of inner vision. And this line was really fascinating. He said, he lays down the melancholy burden of sanity and conceives of the strangest project ever imagined. I just thought that was so interesting. He just willingly let go of what is normal and what is sane, and went to be the person he wanted to be, Don Quixote de la Mancha. Now that is brutally summarizing a beautiful and magnificent musical, which I suggest everyone go and see. But yeah. In any case, I have reached the end of the time that I said I was going to stop at. So, considering that I appear to be mildly addicted now, I'm going to go ahead and just finish this level, and then we will stop. Because I had to talk about Don Quixote, and I couldn't stop because it's a good musical, okay? Go watch it. Go find a ticket to someone who's performing, or find it on the internet, and go watch it. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching this stream or video or whichever platform you are on, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.